Welcome back to the Five. So the autopsy says Muammar Gaddafi died from a gunshot to the head. In other words, natural causes. Because in thug life, that's basically dying in your sleep. His body is still on display in a commercial freezer, making it the world's largest cold cut. But now we learned that the guy replacing him, albeit temporarily, Mustafa Abdul Jalil, has already embraced Sharia law, the Islamic governing code found in places like Afghanistan, Pakistan, and that Sucksistan. And he's already lifted the ban on polygamy and outlawed interest on loans, which makes sense. You need cheap loans to pay for all those burqas. So it's scary. It's like when an awful neighbor croaks and an even scarier one takes his place. It's how people in my building look at me. But let's not regret a monster's death, even if what follows is murky. And while Sharia law may please hardliners, maybe some young Libyans might scoff. After all, the guy lording over Gaddafi wore a Yankees cap. That may not mean they hate Sharia, but at least they like our crappy teams. The two-word solution? North Dakota. That's where oilmen break rocks with water, creating a massive shale oil supply, which in 5 years may leave us completely energy sufficient. Meaning, Sharia law or not, we may not need you.
Very positive.
There you go.
Yeah. Very positive. Uplifting.
Take something ugly, turn it around, put the smile upside down, as they say. Dana, are you worried about this development with Sharia law?
I think it's too soon to say.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see what the youth really want is jobs and freedom. That's what everybody, that in your soul, what you always want, that there's a deep universal understanding of freedom. So that's what they really want. We're going to need to be there to help them along with the NATO partners, and that's what's called soft power. You know, after the military has done its thing, or actually in this case, within a Yankees cap, finally did Gaddafi in. Now is the hard time to write a constitution. So if the constitution that they write does guarantee individual freedoms, then the Sharia law thing might not be as big a deal. I just think we don't know.
Let's keep something straight here. There's not a country, Muslim country in the Middle East that is not under Sharia law. Every one of them. Now, some of them are more conservative about it, like the Saudis, and sure, the Persians and Iran. What?
Israel.
I'm sorry. I said Muslim countries.
Okay.
I said Muslim countries.
One that we helped liberate.
They're all under Sharia law of one kind or another. I mean, even Egypt, when Mubarak was there, had Sharia law. The question is, what Jalil said was, we're going to keep to Islamic principles. That is not meaning embedding hardcore Sharia law as they have in Saudi Arabia.
But they did legalize.
But I'm just saying, let's not assume that somehow there's not Sharia law. There is Sharia law.
Okay, well, let's hope for the best. But the problem is saying that we are a moderate Muslim country. That's what he's saying. That's what his intention is. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to end up like that, because there are a lot of people there in the country that want to adopt strict Sharia law. Fundamental. Yes, they do.
They're not going to give up their Yankees caps.
And you know what? That affects all the laws, like marriages, divorce, all of it, in terms of what they want.
Can I ask you a quick question? What do they do instead of interest? Like
nothing.
So you can just go in and get money and there's no charges?
It's a law. It's part of the Sharia law. But
that's awesome.
We need to point something out.
Wall Street could get behind that.
There are at least five. Well, that's what it is. I mean, that's what we basically, the American government is Sharia law because we give banks no interest loans. Look, there are at least 5 interpretations of Sharia. The more extreme, there are things called Hadd, H-A-D-D, punishments for adultery, for theft, for drinking wine, which includes stoning and cutting limbs off. I mean, who's to say, Bob, how's this? I'll make a prediction. Within 5 years, we have to go back into Libya. The U.S. has to go back into Libya.
We wouldn't go back into Libya.
I got a couple minutes left. I want to move on to what Afghan President Hamid Karzai said. I think we have a sought. He basically said in case there was a war between the United States and Pakistan, he would side with Pakistan.
We did not leave Pakistan and will not in the future. If anybody attacks Pakistan, if Pakistan is attacked, Afghanistan will be there with you. If fighting starts between Pakistan and the U.S., we are beside Pakistan.
Dana, isn't he just upset that President Obama keeps mispronouncing his country as Pakistan? And this is
well, that's not Karzai's country, but his neighboring country. I had an opportunity to meet President Karzai on a couple of occasions, and he is kind of an impressive individual. And then you see something like this, and you know that it's shifty there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think that our presence there is helpful. I know that there's a lot of disagreement about that, and we should have that discussion. But when it comes to Afghanistan, today what Karzai did was that he tried to backtrack.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure someone from the State Department gave him a little call up and said, like Ambassador Ryan Crocker and said, ring, ring, excuse me, that was wrong.
Speaking of ambassadors, I got to ask you a side question. You know, the Syria guy, we pulled the guy out of Syria, our ambassador. Do ambassadors, like, get punishment? I mean, like, if you're sent to Syria as the ambassador, is that a punishment?
No, actually, some of the best civil servants, they want the toughest assignment. So the ambassador who was in Syria, he probably is one of the best that the State Department has.
The Central African Empire, that's where you don't want to necessarily be.
You put some of your best people there, like Ryan Crocker's there, obviously, there for a reason. General Key made a great point this weekend on Fox talking about that. Look, so they trust him to be there working side by side to manage him because Karzai is a very mercurial person, maybe some other issues there, and he tends to make statements
means crazy,
like
right?
Thank you.
Well, it's a polite way in Miss Banner's.
Go ahead, sure.
Very quick, small point. So here we are. We spent hundreds of billions of dollars liberating this guy, countless lives. And he says if there were a conflict between Pakistan and the U.S., he would side with Pakistan. Meanwhile, we're supposed to trust that the Libyan government isn't going to be.
Let me just say, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. This is his neighbor next door. It's like we side with the Canadians. I mean, the idea is that this is something he's playing to his own local politics, and that's what this is about. You can't side with the United States against Pakistan, and particularly the east part of the country. And you know you're supposed to go to a tease.
I know. All right.
Too bad you can't do local politics with the 24/7 news cycle anymore.
That is true. All right, coming up, an NFL star with a head injury calls his wife to tell her he's okay, and the league slaps him with a fine. We'll tackle that one. See?
Oh, that was nice.
Wasn't that cute?
Whoa,
Where do they come up with this stuff?
All day long.